Welcome to Switch Comics. My name is Marco, and today we're going to talk about some of the comics that I really want to add to my collection, and some that I'm aiming to go after soon. So, I do want to say that right off the bat, everyone has a little bit of different goals. Some people might prefer, or methods more rather than goals. Some people might prefer to like really laser focus, pick up the next book that you're going after, and get that book. For me, I'm a sucker for deals. And it's one of those things that if I just happen upon something that I think is too good of a price to pass up, then my priority list might shift a little bit. For me, deals come above all else because I want so many things. Now, again, somebody might be different. Somebody might be like, you know what? The only thing that I actually care about getting right now is this book. And if that's your situation, then go after that one book and be happy about it. But for me, I can make a huge list and sit here and make a 3-hour video telling you the comic books I wish I could have in my collection. But instead, I'm just going to talk about some of them today. And particularly, I'm kind of focused on some pairing pieces. I've been talking about that a lot here recently. But before we talk about the books that I want to add to my collection, let me tell you about some books that maybe you could add to your collection. At 1,000 subscribers, I'm giving away some slabs. So I have Miss Marvel 1, the sketch edition, at a 9.6. I have Venom 7 at a 9.4, first cameo of Dylan Brock. And then I have Doctor Strange 381, signed by Donny Cates at a 9.4. Witness signature. So yeah, I'll be giving these away, and there's also other comics that will be given away from other members of the community. I've been talking a little bit to different people, and I will be making an update video somewhere in the future. But again, when we hit 1,000 subscribers, we're going to have a big celebration, give comics out to all kinds of people. It's going to be a lot of fun. But let's go ahead and talk about some of the things that I want to get into. So starting off, I just recently picked up this. It was in my last video, Alias #1 at a 9.6, the first appearance of Jessica Jones. And it's not on the wall yet because it's a smaller comic, and it's kind of the start. Well, not technically a starting piece. It is my first one that is slabbed. I also have Marvel Premiere 15, which is the first appearance of Iron Fist. So if you haven't figured out where I'm going with this, I want to collect all the Netflix Defenders. So with that being said, I also need Hero for Hire 1, first Luke Cage, Amazing Spider-Man 129, first Punisher, and then the big one would be Daredevil #1, which is, first Daredevil. But that book, for me, I don't know. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'd love to get it, but it's a big book, and even at a 1 or a 2, you're still talking thousands of dollars. And like I just looked up just for fun the other day, and all the 1s and 2s just look really bad. It's always important to know it. I tell this people all the time because I don't mind buying low-grade books, but not all low-grade books present the same. So you have to really be cautious. I actually, sometimes you can find a higher grade book that presents worse, and it's crazy. You think, it doesn't quite correlate into how well it looks. For example, my Journey 83, despite it being a 1.8, I think looks very good, presents super well. But, and despite its flaws, I always like when you find a low-grade book that has a bunch of creases up and down the spine, and has, sometimes you can just have a bunch of color-breaking creases all up and down the spine, and then you have a beautiful picture still pretty much entirely preserved. That's a great low-grade book to me. There's a lot of other things. You can have a back that looks really bad. My Star Wars 68, its back is atrocious, but it still presents super well. And a book like that, to me, is worth working a little harder for. I don't particularly go towards grades, especially with these lower grade books. For me, it is a lot about presentation. So, that being said, the Daredevils that I was looking at, like I said, even if I wanted to save up that much money and spend that much money on a big book, they just all look bad. They looked really ratty and messed up, and I just could not personally see myself spending that much money on a book that just so rough. And every book has a different amount that you're willing it to look, versus how much you're willing to spend. And like if I could get a book that looked that bad and it was first Avengers, maybe I'd maybe one Avengers a little bit more than Daredevil. But I'm just throwing an example and just giving, doing a little rant as I typically do. But so what I'm getting at here is I'm probably not going to get a Daredevil 1 for the foreseeable future. I am going to do a replacement and swap it out with Daredevil 8. Now, I thought kind of long and hard about this one. Daredevil 8 is the second appearance of the red suit and the first appearance of Stiltman. And not the biggest Daredevil key. If Daredevil 7 had a better cover, I'm not a fan of the cover of Daredevil 7, pretty much at all. If I could get one, I'd still like to get one. It's still first red suit. I think that's pretty neat. But if I had to actually pick one, that's not going to be Daredevil 1, I decided to go with Daredevil 8. I think it has a beautiful, beautiful cover. I like Stiltman. I think he's a real fun, funny character. And I think this book presents way better than, it just is a better cover than Daredevil 7. And it's still second suit. It'll still be an awesome piece to add. And I actually have one that's been at CGC for like over a year now, and it's real low grade. So depending on when that comes back, that might be the one joining the wall, or I might. It's not too much to get like a 7.0 or something around that area. It's not too much money, so I might just grab a new copy. Because part of it, for me, I want that red to really pop on that particular cover. So that being said, with this particular set that I'm hunting for, Spider-Man 129 is going to be the hard one. Now, again, I'm totally fine if I were to get, like a 5.0 or something. That'd be cool. Honestly, now that... So I have 3 books at 2.0 now. I have my Iron Man 1. I have... Werewolf by Night 32, and I have Marvel Spotlight 5 down there. It's all 2.0, and then I have my 1.8, which is so close. But anyway, I kind of looked and I was like, I wouldn't mind getting a 2.0. Again, a 2.0 that presents well. And I looked at the prices, and it's not that much different to get a 5.0 or a comparable grade, around that area. And I'm like, if you're going to be spending over $1,000 on this book, and then just to spend a couple extra $100, you might as well get a 5.0, Like, I don't know. Prices on this book seemed a little crazy. Obviously, there's a lot of demand. Everybody loves Punisher. So with that being said, that's going to make that low end pop up. Make that entry fee, or entry into the game, I guess, pretty hard to get to. So... I don't know. We'll see. Again, I'm going to be fairly patient, although it is probably my number one like focus goal of like I really need to try to find this book, because I think it'll be the hard one for the set. Like I said, not including Daredevil 1. And once I get that one done, the rest of this little mini set will be easy to take out, and I will have my Netflix Defender set, which I think will be really, really cool. Always love the Netflix shows. Big fan of Daredevil. I think is probably the best thing Marvel has ever done. The show, the 3 seasons. Really love Jessica Jones, all of it. I know some people only like season 1. I loved all of it. Luke Cage I had quite a bit of problems with, except for like the first half of the first season was incredible, and then it was like after that. Iron Fist season 1 was pretty terrible. Season 2 I think was a little bit better. Biggest disappointment for sure though, because I've always loved Iron Fist, and I thought after Daredevil, Iron Fist was going to be this incredible action, unlike anything we've ever seen before, and it was you know what it was. And then Punisher, also pretty cool. I think best in Daredevil season 2, but his show was also good. But yeah, so I mean, obviously there's a lot of Netflix hype now I say Netflix, you know, with those characters. Daredevil returning, hopefully other ones soon to follow, but we'll see. Still very excited to see what happens with that, though. And moving on to another set that I've also talked about here recently is, well, I just picked up Iron Man 66, which is Iron Man versus Thor here. So, you know, I got it in between my Iron Man 1 and my Journey into Mystery 83. And now, granted, that's going to be the smaller book, and that's why I went ahead and picked it up, because I knew it was an easy book to go ahead and grab. The other books on the list are a little trickier. So we have Journey into Mystery 112, which is the first fight between Thor and Hulk. Really cool cover. I love that book. I really, really want to get. Again, a round of 5, I think, would be really cool. You know, I can go a little lower, maybe a little higher, although a little higher is probably a bit more than I'd be. Honestly, like a 3 to a 5 is probably good for me. Again, if I can get a 3 and it presents super nice, that'd be fine with me. Then the next one is going to be Journey into Mystery Annual number 1. Now, this is the first time Thor fights Hercules. Also doubles as Hercules' first full appearance. And that is makes it a big book. It makes it a big book, makes it really tricky. And I'm not entirely sure if I would want to get this one, because I don't love, like, if I had to pick between this one and Journey 112, I'd much rather have Journey 112. To me, it's a cooler book. This more so I want to fit into the set. Alternatively, I may look into Thor 126, which is another iconic battle between Thor and Hercules, but also doubles as the first transition from Journey into Mystery into Thor. You know, it being titled Thor. So, it's a pretty cool book. It's a fun cover as well. I just have to, again, I just kind of evaluate my options, see what comes to me. That's how I always kind of collect, is I just kind of see what the world brings to me. And so far it's worked pretty cool. You know, like, I'm very happy with what I have in my collection, and for the most part, I don't really hard hunt after too many things. Minus just a few exceptions here, you know, like I put a lot of work into getting that Ghost Rider 1 in 25. I really had to track down that book for a long time. Trying to see what else. I put quite a bit of work into getting Ultimate Fallout 4. I was pretty dead set on getting that one. But I mean, a lot of the other things just kind of really fell into place, and I just, you know, it just worked out. And some things that I didn't even have any passion at all in pursuing, like my X-Men 12, it just showed up at the shop one day. My Journey 83, you know, I wasn't looking for those books, it just happened. Iron Man 1 was the same way. Edge of Spider-Verse 2 here. Star Wars 1. There weren't books that I were hunting down, but the universe brought them to me. So, again, I have like this idea of what I want, and if the universe brings me any of these books, I'll hop onto it, or I might get something else. Who knows? Like, I mean, there's other cool books like X-Men 14 I'd love to get. First Sentinels. If that happened to pop up and I see it for a good deal, I might steer that direction. But anyway, and then one more awesome battle book between Thor and Silver Surfer. Silver Surfer number 4, a book that I'd really, really love to get, and is actually going to lead into this next bit, which is Silver Surfer books. I really, 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 and I've talked about this before, I really want to get some Silver Surfer books, and I don't really have any of them right now because they're all very expensive, but I think there's some really cool books. I've said really a lot now. But so, you know, obviously starting with the big ones, you have Fantastic Four 48, 49, and 50. I'd also like to get Fantastic Four 72. I think it's just a really cool Surfer cover. But those three are like, you know, that's like the big pairing piece set. Like, you have those three together, and it's like, it's a gorgeous set. And I don't know, I've really come to, God, I said it again, but you know, I've come to appreciate pairing pieces quite a bit, and it's really kind of reshaped how I want to collect. I don't know, not a great reason why. I guess it just kind of makes it more fun to me. Just certain books that go together brings me extra joy. It's like you hit a multiplier. It's like this book's bringing me joy, and this book's bringing me joy, and like together you might just add up to a mountain joy. But like certain books that go together multiply that happiness for me. And then the other books are Surfer 1, 3, and 4. Surfer 1 just being, you know, his first solo series. 3 being first appearance of Mephisto, super cool cover. And then, like I said, Surfer 4, first time he fights Thor, great cover. And I'd really have to... It'll be difficult to make it fit, you know, theoretically, if I had all these books. If I got all the books that I want. To make it fit on the wall where Surfer is all together, but then also connecting to fighting Thor, that'll be a trick. But one will happily accept. But that is kind of my immediate, like, what I'm looking for. Like I said, there are other cool books that, you know, I definitely want. If I wanted to tell you every single book that I'd like to own in my collection, we'd be here for a long time. But as always, you know, leave a comment. Let me know what you really want to pick up in the near future. I'm going to be, you know, definitely watching a lot of auctions on eBay. I'm going to be going to a convention soon, and I'm really trying to save up some money and not really spend anything until then. It's next month, and hopefully find some good deals is kind of my goal. We'll see what happens. Usually when I go to a convention and have money, there's nothing. I see nothing that I want. And then when I don't have any money, they have everything in the world for great prices. But so I don't know. We'll see. But you know, let me know what you all are looking for. If you have any of these books, and you know, you maybe want to make a deal, whether you know, be selling or trading or whatever it may be, you know, definitely hit me up. I'd love to talk to you about that. Other than that, though, that's gonna be it for today. Like I said, definitely make sure you're subscribed if you want to, you know, boost the channel up to 1,000 subscribers so we can give away some awesome comics. I'll be letting you know about the community pitched in comics as well in the nearish future, whenever I have it fully set up and figure out who's doing what. But anyway, some cool stuff coming up. Thank you all so much, and I will see you next time. Ha 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 ha!